Hi everyone, and thank you for coming to Bear Clooney Watches channel. I am Bear Clooney, this is Bear Clooney's Cave, and you're joining me in my search for perfect timepiece. Today we're talking about legendary watch. I did a video on this watch in the early stages of my channel, which was approximately 3 months ago, I think. And even in that video, I made commitment that I will make a video that properly acknowledges and honors this exceptional timepiece. Rolex Explorer. It's a watch that deserves our attention. It's a watch that is so significant as a timepiece, highly respected by many. You see, this is a watch, again, that appeals to me on different levels. First, there is obviously exceptional history. Heritage of this watch is unparalleled. Then, it is aesthetics and its design, which slowly, through evolution of this watch, in my opinion, has achieved ultimate beauty. It is simple, elegant, with depth in its dial, and it truly represents, in my humble opinion, perfectly balanced timepiece. Now, Rolex does this in a very unique way through evolving their watch. The Explorer was based on a bubble bag series of watches, and in 1952, you had a chance in the introduction of this video to actually see bubble bag and to see kind of how did we evolve to Rolex Explorer. Going back to that, in 1952, the references 6098 and 6150, they were both using the A296 movement. And they were in fact the first prototype watches to be used by climbers. Rolex Explorer's history is closely attached to mountain climbing and Everest expeditions, as Rolex actually sponsored these expeditions, and at one time, that was since 1933, at one time only one expedition was permitted per year, so it wasn't easy to be part of it. So going back to this basically prototype watches that were used by climbers, they were watches with white dials and leaf-shaped hands, and they did not bear the name Explorer yet. In 1953, These models became the references 6298 and 6350. And that's when they were fitted with a very typical Explorer type 369. And later with the Mercedes hands. Before Hillary and Norgay were actually climbing the Everest, the Rolex did not name that watch Explorer. Rolex registered the Explorer trademark in January of 1953, and the Explorer gained its name after Hillary and Norgay climbed up the Everest, and Explorer began to be added on the reference 6350 at the end of 1953. Now, there are different stories in relation to Sir Hillary and Norgay climbing the Mount Everest and who actually had a Rolex watch on the wrist. There are stories that Hillary had Rolex Explorer on one wrist and Smith watch on the other wrist, so he was doing kind of Schwarzkopf. However, we do know that Norgay definitely had predecessor of Rolex Explorer on his wrist. And that specific watch can be seen in a Rolex museum in Geneva. So, touching a little bit on its history, on its significance, I think what makes me excited about this watch, if I want to sum it up before we actually look deeper into aesthetics of it, is a very unique history that kind of developed its design and movement logically. And in the same time, evolved slowly to the time, so DNA in this watch is so strong. So, history, movement, aesthetics. Those three components create this to be exceptional timepiece. You might ask, Bear Clooney, have you found a perfect timepiece? And trust me, when I talk about Rolex Explorer, it's certainly going to make me think. But I like that search so much, so I will avoid the answer. I'll be very honest with you. I have a days when I think that Rolex Explorer is perfect timepiece. But then search would end, and search is so much fun. Going back now to Rolex Explorer, I suggest we go to Bear Clooney Watches studio, talk a little more about it, take a closer look, and enjoy our time with this great timepiece. Join me. Let's go. And here we are at Bear Clooney Watches studio. Good times, good times. We are acknowledging Bear Clooney's favorite TV show, Mad Men. So cheers, everyone. Cheers to great times. Cheers to great watches. Cheers to our hobby. I hope you will enjoy our further quest for perfect timepiece. And now, returning to the watch. If Rolex Explorer was cool enough for Don Draper of Mad Men, which is one cool cat, I can assure you it's cool for everyone. Aesthetics of this watch are timeless. I would say the defining characteristic of this Explorer is the dial. It was always a black dial with a large luminous triangle at marker 12, bar indices for the hour markers, and then Arabic numerals at 3, 6, and 9, which on this latest version are actually filled with luminescent. Previous version was a solid white gold. All Explorers bear this identifying characteristic. Comparing the new and old 214270, which is a reference number for the 39mm version of Rolex Explorer, is that the dials are almost identical. Main differences are the hands, which are now on this latest version, which I'm showing you, made longer and slightly larger. And this pleased many Rolex fans, as some picky ones were disappointed that when case was enlarged from previous version from 36mm to 39mm, the enlarged dial resulted in hands which were slightly too short, not quite reaching the indices. This was an odd look for some, and many believe that this latest version has resolved that concern. So the dial now looks a little bit tighter, aesthetics are kind of a little more balanced, and the issue of negative space has been resolved. The watch is thin, the watch is elegant, the watch is very versatile because of its look. The bracelet is absolutely gorgeous. I love the clasp, I love the bracelet. Brushed stainless steel, which nicely drapes, and it is very comfortable on the wrist, and it has this truly timeless, classy look. Also, the bracelet itself has the comfort extension. Let me just open this clasp and show you. You will see now, just give me a second. This comfort extension allows you to extend the bracelet by 5mm, depending on how it feels on your wrist. When it comes to the movement, this is obviously as all Rolexes, and there is no display case on the back, but this is very high engineering standard movement 31-32, which is highly reliable and rugged and with very high precision. Typically, Rolex movements are not finished with traditional decorative finishing. The 31-32 is equipped with a Parachrome hairspring and Paraflex shock absorbers, and I like to say superpower of this watch is exactly that, shock absorption. Watch is obviously, like all watches from Rolex, COSC certified, and as well it's Rolex Superlative Chronometer standard watch, which specifies even more stringent +2, -2 second a day timing differential. So it is a watch of with a very high quality movement. All Rolex watches are well engineered. The level of industrialization is amazingly high, and the quality of the watches are certainly one of the best. But by the genre, this is a tool watch, and as we know, this is very competitive genre of the watches. Rolex certainly rules this segment of the market. It is a sports watch with ability to be worn as a dress watch because of its truly a versatile look. The dial is magnificent. The design with the use of Arabic numerals mixed with the bar markers and the unmistakable inverted triangle at 12 is exemplary when it comes to clarity and legibility. I would say that the fact that it is Rolex ensures that there is a first-class manufacturing quality, and this Explorer simply does not disappoint. It maintains a pure class, and it is a timeless watch. Let's for a moment take a look at the actual lume. Lume of this watch is chromalite. It glows this beautiful blue chromalite lume, and I think it is truly high quality, like all other modern Rolex watches. This was introduced in 2008. Now, I think we should go and take a look at the wrist presence of this wonderful watch. And here we are looking at the wrist presence of Rolex Explorer 39mm. I can simply say that it is perfectly balanced watch, very versatile. It sits nicely on my 7.25 inches wrist, and I think wrist presence is exceptional. Subtle, classy, traditional, and aesthetically very pleasing. And we are back at Bear Clooney's cave. I hope I did justice for this exceptional timepiece, and I hope you enjoyed this video. What can I say? Rolex Explorer. Almost perfect watch? Maybe. Some might say it's too simple. I say that's a part of its aesthetic beauty. Some might say, well, it's missing the date. I say, well, that is something that helps its perfect balance. Some might say that it's too big. It should be 36mm. Some might say it's too small. It should be larger than 39mm. I say it's a perfect size, and this is one of most versatile timepieces. It can be worn in pretty much every occasion. I can see this watch looking pretty sharp while wearing tuxedo. And I can see this watch being pretty cool while wearing shorts or jeans. And then, on the top of everything, you are wearing on your wrist watch with unparalleled pedigree, with heritage and history that not many watches can say they have. So, does this mean the search for perfect timepiece ends? Not a chance. Search is so much fun. So please join me again and let's continue searching for a perfect timepiece. Thank you once again.